Hello everyone, how you doing? Welcome back. Is it really a year since we were at Dovetail last time? That was August last year, and I'm here again, 2024, August 2024, for the big reveal of TSW5, which by now you will all know about, and wow, a few changes are coming in. There's a lot to get through. Now, I wasn't able to film inside this time, that wasn't permitted, but let's go through, shall we? Let's go through everything that was announced. So let's start off with some good news, because existing players have been speculating for quite some time that if indeed there was to be a Train Sim World 5, would they need to pay for the game again if they only picked up Train Sim World 4 this time last year? And the good news is that Dovetail have decided that no, Train Sim World 5 will actually be free for 30 days. So it releases on September the 17th, and if you claim by October the 17th, you will be able to install Train Sim World 5 completely free of charge. So if you're an existing player of TSW4, if you install the new TSW5, you will then need to re-download all of your routes and content from the store again for whatever platform you're on into TSW5. Unfortunately, there was no way that they could get around that. They've been trying to look at a way to not have to re-download all your content every time, but they weren't able to manage that. So you will need to spend some time re-downloading all your content. And then you will be into Train Sim World 5. Now, the key thing about that update, well, I'm calling it an update. It's not really an update because Train Sim World 5 is completely separate, so it's not an update. So let's call it the new game. So with TSW5, you'll get the core, but what you will need to do then is buy one of the editions if you want the new routes. And we're going to talk about the new routes coming up very shortly. So the core is free to everybody for the first 30 days. That's the good news. So you can install Train Sim World 5, download all your content into Train Sim World 5. If you're not interested in any of the new routes, you don't have to buy them. There's no requirement to buy those. You can carry on as you are now, but in Train Sim World 5. So I think that's good news for anybody who doesn't want to purchase any of the new content. Now, the other thing that it does say on this graphic is if you're completely new to the Train Sim World franchise, then of course there is a free starter pack as well. So as mentioned, you don't get any routes with that, but what you do get is the training center, the livery designer, free roam, formation designer, and scenario planner. So then you can choose then to purchase one of the new bundles that is coming with TSW5, or you could perhaps choose a route or two from the back catalogue. That will be completely up to you, but what they've done is they've made that absolutely your choice. So there is no need to pick up the brand new routes that are coming out for TSW5. You might want to pick something else, and that's absolutely fine. So it's nice that Dovetail have actually given this new game, the core for this new game, absolutely free to everybody, and I think it's an excellent opportunity for new players to come in. So you've got the shiny new TSW5, and now you probably want to buy an edition of new routes. And we've got the standard edition, and we've also got the deluxe edition. And of course, with standard edition, you will get the standard 3 routes that have been created for TSW5. And with the deluxe, you get a little bit extra. So we'll have a look through those now. And DTG have quite kindly put together these little summary cards, which explain everything really, really well. I'm going to leave these up on the screen so you can look at those whilst I'm talking. But firstly, the German route, which is coming as part of TSW5, and this is Frankfurt to Fulda, Kinzigtalbahn, and this is a really, really nice route. I've got to add to that while I was down at Dovetail, the back end of last week, I did get a chance to play all 3 routes, and I was blown away by the quality. This one in particular, you won't believe the level of detail at the Frankfurt end. It is crazy. I do not know how long it has taken to put in all the catenary and all the track work. It's absolutely mad. But this is a busy main line with many stations, and Frankfurt is the busiest German main station. I can vouch for that from playing the game last week. You can go via Hanau to Fulda, and there are stations of all different types and sizes, and it just mentions there that if you do get the deluxe edition, you will get the new Flixtrain BR193 Vectron. We'll talk about that shortly. I've got another slide that I can show you about the new Vectron. So the location is in Frankfurt, of course, and the key information is all here. It is 64 miles, which is 103 kilometres, 24 stations along the route, and then there's quite a variety of stock. So there is the DBBR 411 ICE T. We've got the DBBR 193 Vectron, the DBBR 423, the 146.2, the 114 Dostors and cab car, and then a host of wagons that you can see down there at the bottom. So there is a handy little route map, so you might want to screenshot this, then you can have a look at it prior to the routes being releasing. All 24 stations are listed there as well, so you can see where this route covers, and I think fans of German railways are going to be quite impressed with this one. Very scenic route, very fast route, depending which service you're running, and I thoroughly enjoy playing it, I have to say it. So if you do decide to pick up the deluxe edition of the 3 routes, then of course, as mentioned, for the Frankfurt Fulda route, then you will also get the Flixtrain BR193 Vectron, which is this one that you can see in the graphic right now. So this adds additional intercity services to Frankfurt and Fulda. You also get new Talbot coaches in the very catchy Flixtrain green livery. And Flixtrain is a new operator for DTG, which is quite exciting. We've been used to the Vectron before, albeit mainly for freight in the past. It was actually part of the deluxe edition, if I recall, for TSW4, and actually has become one of my favourite locos on the German side, certainly. So this adds a very big splash of colour to TSW5, and I think it's a livery that players have been looking forward to actually for quite some time. Next up in the route bundle for this year is really for fans of American railroads, and that is the San Bernardino line, which is Los Angeles to San Bernardino. This one's been on the roadmap for quite some time, but this is quite similar to the Antelope Valley that we got last year. However, I should say that the Los Angeles Union Station appears in both these routes as an origin point for both routes. But whereas in the Antelope Valley we left Los Angeles and went off to the left, with the San Bernardino line we actually got off to the right slightly. So they do meet at Los Angeles Station but going in different directions. So dense suburban scenery, roads and highways and town blocks, a unique highway running experience in the middle of a highway. I didn't come across that in the little playtest that I did last week, I must admit. But the Metrolink CMF in Los Angeles and the EMF in San Bernardino are all accessible. And the route itself is 57 miles in length, which is 92 kilometres. And it covers 16 stations, which you can see just under the route map in the bottom right of the graphic. It comes with the Metrolink MP36PH3C, and we've seen the MP36 before on a couple of routes, notably Caltrain, I remember when that was released, I absolutely ran the heck out of the Baby Bullet. That was the MP36, really enjoyed that. We've also got the Metrolink F125, which we also saw last year with the Antelope Valley. We got the Rotem cars and cab car, and we've got Bombardier cars in the 2 livery variants. So something to look forward to again for US railroad fans, and that also is part of the 3 route bundle that is coming. So next, I want to talk about the deluxe edition of this. So if you go for the deluxe edition again for the 3 routes over the standard, you will also get Cajon Pass. Now, many of you will already own Cajon Pass, but what that will do is that will, with the deluxe edition, that will let you run the BNSF freight layers from Cajon Pass on this San Bernardino line. So that is San Bernardino line, Los Angeles to San Bernardino. And now onto the one that I'm most excited about, and that is the UK route. Now, if you've been a subscriber to my channel for any length of time, you will know that I have ranted and raved about wanting a portion of the West Coast Main Line somewhere in TSW, hopefully sooner rather than later. And it's been several years, but here we are with TSW5, and finally we have a section of the West Coast Main Line. And now I wasn't bothered that it wasn't north. I did say I would take any section, and we've got the West Coast Main Line South, and that is London Euston as far as Milton Keynes. So I'm quite pleased with this. And from the blurb on the graphic, it's complex layout within London Euston across to Milton Keynes, and I will say that London Euston, from what I saw last week, is particularly well modelled. You can even go up to the concourse, and I was in London Euston a couple of days before this video is going out, and I actually took some footage in London Euston and on the concourses. You can fly out to the concourses. The concourses are all modelled at Euston Station, which is really, really nice to see. It's busy mainline commuter action on a 4-track West Coast Main Line, and the full London Overground Lioness line is included, which is quite interesting, isn't it? And that's with the 710 layer, which is available for the Suffragette line owners. So I didn't get to test that because the Suffragette line wasn't installed on the PS5 that I was using down at Dovetail at that time. So unfortunately I didn't get to test that. But I did spend the bulk of the time on this route, and I did run the 377, the 350, and also the Pendolino, which we will come to very, very shortly. So I'm really hyped for this one. I've spent a few hours on this already, and it's great. So yeah, it's going from London Euston up to Milton Keynes Central. You can see the 28 stations that it covers, and the route map. It covers a total distance of 50 miles. Which is 80 kilometers, and with this you will get the BR class 350/1, which you can see there over on the left, the main sort of unit picture there. It will also come with the Southern BR class 377/2. There is also a DB Cargo BR class 66 and FKA wagons, and the London Underground 1972 Mark II stock. So even if you don't own the Bakerloo line, you will get the 1972 stock, because of course part of the Bakerloo line runs alongside the West Coast Main Line on this section. So that's included as well, and I did see those run up and down, which was very, very nice. Now let's have a talk about the deluxe edition. So yes, with the deluxe edition, you do get the Avanti West Coast Pendolino. This is a train I know very, very well. I travel on this quite a bit, so this is quite exciting for me. I also drive it a lot in TS Classic, and recently I did a run in TS Classic from London Euston all the way up to Glasgow Central. I'll put a little link to that up in the top right hand corner in case you want to have a look at that in TS Classic. But this, of course, is an iconic unit for the UK, fully refurbished by Avanti West Coast. It comes in 9 and 11 car variants, which represents the whole fleet, and it's been the primary traction on the West Coast Main Line for 20 plus years, collectively travelling over 300 million miles. I think I've been on about 1 million of those miles myself. It's got tilting technology, of course, for leaning into the curves. You can run this between London and Milton Keynes, the whole run. It's really nicely modelled inside. You'll see some footage of this towards the end of this video, just when I'm doing the wrap up. It's very well modelled all the way through, and delivery just looks great. And I was really impressed by the reflections and the lighting. You can see it a little bit in this graphic, but the outside of the train was really impressive. The sound, I thought, was excellent whilst I was playing it, and I think I'm gonna hazard a guess that if you are gonna go initially for the standard edition, I think you're gonna be hard pushed not to go for the deluxe edition. That would be my choice, just because of this Pendolino. It's so iconic on the West Coast Main Line. It's going to be difficult not to pick this up. I'm going to hazard a guess. I don't know. If you're not interested in the West Coast Main Line, of course, then if you're an East Coast mainliner, then you've already had the Azuma. That might be your thing. But for me, this is at the moment what makes the West Coast Main Line. So I think you will be hard pushed not to go for the deluxe edition. But let me know in the comments what you're going to do, because I'm quite interested. What is there that would swing you from getting the standard edition to perhaps getting the deluxe edition? For me, the one single item would be this Pendolino. So I hope you are going to look forward to this one. But as always, do let me know what you think. We thought this goodness just wasn't enough to wet your whistle, then there was more, because we got to have a look at the Train Sim World 5 Roadmap as well. So again, as usual, this is broken down into approaching soon and then further down the track. So let's look at the stuff in approaching soon, which is 0 to 3 months. And of course, we've talked about the bundle that is coming as part of TSW5, which is the West Coast Main Line, Frankfurt, Fulda, San Bernardino, and then if you go for the deluxe edition, you will additionally get the Flixtrain Vectron and the Avanti West Coast Pendolino. And there is another add-on coming in 0 to 3 months, which we don't know too much about at the moment, and that is the MBTA commuter. So that is obviously a US route, and that is coming in the immediate future, 0 to 3 months, which is very, very nice. In the further down the tracks section, we've got lots of stuff in here, and a lot of it is marked as new. So let's go through, shall we? We have got the Pfalzischer Ludwigsbahn, which is a German route, and then this one nearly made me drop my hat. This is the West Coast Main Line again, but my section, Preston to Carlisle. This is by Just Trains. Now, if you thought there would nothing that would top it for me than more than the Blackpool branches and the West Coast Main Line South, this could be it. Preston to Carlisle. This is going to be a good run. This is about 90 miles, this run. We'll get more information on that as we go, but I am super excited about that. And you know what Blackpool branches was like, the quality of Blackpool branches. I think Just Trains are going to pull this one out of the bag, and if the quality is anything like Blackpool branches, I think everybody's going to be in for a big treat. So I'm not going to say anything else about that one, because I could go on about that, for the whole video. So let's move on, and the next one we've got is a Dovetail developed route, as I understand. That is Cardiff City Network. That is coming soon. And then we go into the Netherlands for the very first time, and that is with Spoorlijn Zwolle Groningen. And apologies again if I've not read that out correctly to all my Dutch friends. That's very exciting, because that Dutch Railways is something that I know nothing about at this moment in time. So I'm looking forward, I'm quite eager to learn something about Dutch Railways, and I'm really, really pleased that the Netherlands are actually coming into TSW, because I know that both TSW and TS Classic have got a big fan base over in the Netherlands. Then one that we did know about was the Tadami line, which is in Japan, which is being created by Union Workshop. That is coming. Then we've got the as yet unannounced route by Alan Thompson, which I suspect would be a UK route if it's coming from Alan Thompson, but the details on that are not very well known at the moment. So Simtrack Studios are making the BR Class 104 and the Peak Forest expansion. And then we've got a new German loco from Simtrack Studios, which as yet is unnamed. So Simtrack doing a couple of items there on the roadmap. Then we've got patches which include improvements to the PC editor, a new timetable update for Colne Aachen, and of course the 5 circle Leven branch, which we've been waiting for a little bit of time now since the 5 circle came out, because the real life Leven branch did open a couple of months ago, and that's been promised not long after it opened. So hopefully that is well along the way, and we will get that quite soon. Then we've got a gameplay pack. We've got 2 gameplay packs, in fact, and the first one is by Athena Simulation, and that is an East Coast Mainline diesel pack, which will be quite interesting. And then High Iron Simulation will also be making a Santa Fe gameplay pack. So lots to look forward to. And then this one was interesting because this is a remaster of the Great Western Express route. There's been a couple of these, hasn't there? Most notably recently, the West Somerset Railway was remastered, and that came out really, really well. The Great Western Express has been many people's favourite route. It was the first UK route that came out for TSW back in the day, and the fact that it's being remastered will be good news for lots of people. People will be looking forward to this. So this will get all the new lighting effects, etc, etc. It'll be tidied up and brought up to, well, TSW5 standards. So looking forward to that. That is further down the tracks. That might be one of those personal projects that Dovetail keep telling us about. So that one will be in progress. And again, there's lots and lots here to look forward to, isn't there? So the future is quite bright for Train Sim World. Let's talk about the pricing now, shall we? Because there are 3 editions of bundles for Train Sim World 5. So just to recap, don't forget, the very basic Train Sim World 5 core is free for all players. So you can get that free for 30 days up to October the 17th. If you want any of the routes that have been brought out as part of TSW5, then these are the details that you need. So first of all, we've got the standard edition. The standard edition will give you the training centre, it will give you the San Bernardino line, the West Coast Main Line, and Frankfurt Fulda, and that will cost you, if you're in the UK, £39.99, or across Europe €44.99, or in dollars $49.99. So $39.99 and then $44.99, $49.99. So it just depends where you are in the world. So that is the standard edition. Then we have the deluxe edition, and that includes the training centre, and as with the standard edition, it includes the San Bernardino line, the West Coast Main Line, and Frankfurt to Fulda. Then in addition, over and above what you get in the standard, you will also get access to the Avanti West Coast Pendolino, the Flixtrain BR193 Vectron, and also the Cajon Pass. And that will cost you in the UK £59.99, in euros £74.99, and in dollars $74.99. So that is the Train Sim World 5 Deluxe Edition. And there is one other edition, and that is the Special Edition. And I think this one is targeted more at new players for TSW, or players that don't own much content from TSW4 or previous TSWs. And in the Special Edition, you will get the training centre, you will get the San Bernardino line, the West Coast Main Line, the Frankfurt Fulda, and then you will get all the Deluxe Edition content, which is the Avanti West Coast Pendolino, the Flixtrain BR193 Vectron, and Cajon Pass. And then additionally, you will get Castle Würzburg, the London Underground Bakerloo line, New York Trenton, the London Overground Suffragette line, and Bahnstrecke Bremen Oldenburg, so quite a lot in the special edition. And that is reflected in the price, but however, if you were to add these up individually, it would be very expensive, and there's a substantial discount with this one, and it comes out at £104.99 if you're in the UK, in euros £119.99, and in dollars $119.99. So it's a chunk of money, but it's a substantial saving on if you wanted to purchase all those individually. So you might want to take advantage of the special edition. So that is everything you need to know about Train Sim World 5. Well, actually, not quite, because there are some things that are coming up in the core of Train Sim World 5 that we've not talked about. So there is some requested content and some exciting new features that were revealed. So, conductor mode. Now, this is something that first appeared on the Glossop route, you may remember if you are an existing player. And for many of the services, certainly for the TSW5 route that are coming out as part of the bundle, you will now be able to drive the service for a particular train, or use that service as a conductor. You can do all the tickets, etc., chuck people off the train. Well, you can't really chuck people off the train, but virtually you can get people in trouble. So conductor mode is there. There's route hopping, so you can reach a certain point of a station and hop to another place within TSW. For example, if you travel on London to Brighton, and then you get to Brighton Station, and then you want to jump onto the East Coastway, you will be able to route hop directly without having to load up the East Coastway separately. So that's quite a nice idea. Fast travel is also there, and there is also an overhaul to the 2D live map in this edition of Train Sim World. So you'll be able to see things like signal numbers, trains coming towards you on the track. You'll be able to see what service that is. You'll be able to see if you're at a red light who you're waiting for and the name service. Lots and lots of little improvements have been put into TSW5 that I've literally skimmed over today, but we'll talk about those more over the coming weeks. So thank you everybody for watching this video. I hope it's been useful. Please do leave me some feedback. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you all on the next one. Take care everybody, and bye for now.